Good afternoon. Welcome in. It's Where the 99 Lead. It's a program brought to you by the University of Pikeville, where we talk about the University of Pikeville. And today we talk with special guest Gary Justice, Director of Admissions at the University of Pikeville. Gary, welcome back in.
Hey, thanks a lot, Andrew. I always love talking about the University of Pikeville.
No doubt about it. And that's what you do, of course, year-round. You talk with students, you visit high schools, you talk about the University of Pikeville, and basically you're a recruiter for the University of Pikeville. Well, you did a heck of a job in the fall semester. Let's talk about some of the numbers from the fall semester at UPike.
Well, Andrew, we was blessed to have a record enrollment of students as far as freshman class. And I'm very excited about that, not only as far as satisfaction about me and the admissions team doing of recruiting the students doing our job, but also just the education that our students, mostly from our area, is getting now. So now we're going to be bringing an economic impact, bringing more educated people to this area. But the numbers was outstanding. It was 425 new freshmen to our class. We're already starting to build next year's class as well, and also working on this spring semester coming up.
And, of course, with the Christmas holiday, here we are in early January, classes getting ready to start. With a break, a lot of students may have been somewhere else during their first semester and realized it wasn't for them. Do you expect to see an influx of new students in the spring semester?
We typically, Andrew, see a few students trickle in from other universities where maybe they went off, got a little homesick, they wanted to come back, that type of thing. But now there's so much excitement about the University of Pikeville that now we're not only getting those students who, just homesick students, but we've got those students who, hey, I want to be at the University of Pikeville.
It's the place where things are happening, and it's not typical. It hasn't been typical at the University of Pikeville for the last couple of years. You say typically you get a few students trickle in the second semester, and I would imagine you may see more than that this year because of the excitement. We wonder when it will stop, and it hasn't. It just continues to grow. It continues to build, and new announcements of discussions taking place continue to build on that excitement.
Well, Andrew, with Governor Paul Patton and James Hurley, you'll never know what's going to happen.
And you'll never sit still.
That's exactly right. Yes, sir.
And those two guys, they don't sit still as well. Gary, let's talk about the admissions process. If someone maybe sat out the fall semester, brand new student, they've never been to college, or a transfer student, someone who's not happy where they are or feel like they would be happier at the University of Pikeville, they want to begin the admissions process now. What should they do?
Well, Andrew, the process is not very difficult at all. And the thing we offer at the University of Pikeville is personal service. So if they want to come see us, we can walk them through the entire process very easily. But I'll describe the process for you just in a couple of steps. First of all, these come in and fill out an application, which is a free application. Some colleges, universities are now starting to charge to fill out their application.
Sure.
We're still free of charge. And then also, once we get the application completed, we'll get the high school transcripts along with their ACT or SAT scores and any kind of college classes they may have. Once we get all those transcripts, they're good to go.
Good to go. And the application process at the university, where does it go from there?
Once they come into the admissions office, we handle everything inside the of the office. So it's a one-stop shop. You come in and you can see myself, Gary Justice, or you can see Dell Abshire, our office manager. We'll get you pointed in the right direction as far as application, transcripts, get you accepted into the university. And then we're going to start talking. We'll send you over to Judy Bradley in financial aid and see if there's some way to help get some financial assistance to pay for college.
If someone's transferring in or a new student who comes in this week and they want to apply for immediate admission to the University of Pikeville, how soon till they know that they've been accepted?
Once they get all the paperwork in, once they gather all the transcripts, ACTs, SAT scores, college credits, they're accepted that day.
Wow.
That day. So it's a pretty quick turnaround time.
No doubt about it. The spring semester, of course, begins soon. Open registration. That takes place on January 17th. What happens at open registration?
Well, it's going to begin at 8 a.m. in Booth Auditorium, which is in Record Memorial Building. And open registration it's another one-stop shop. You come in and take care of everything that day. If you have not applied for admission yet, we're going to get your application in. We'll get you registered for classes. We'll get your financial aid started. It's a process. It's a 2 or 3 hour process, but you really can't be at a 2 or 3 hour process if you get everything done in one day.
I know at some colleges and universities, you'll spend 2 or 3 hours in line at the bookstore.
Yes, sir.
So it's not that cumbersome. The spring semester does start Classes start when?
January the 18th is when the spring classes begin. Students, we have open registration on January the 17th. Starts at 8 a.m. and it's going to run until the last student is serviced. Classes begin January 18th, and we're ready to rock and roll for the spring semester.
It's a busy time, I know, for the admissions office at the University of Pikeville. Talking with Gary Justice, Director of Admissions at the University. Gary, of course, back from the new year, and obviously you're looking forward to the second semester, open registration. What else is going on in your office at this time right now? I would imagine you're probably looking forward to the fall semester as well with the high school students.
We have several different things going on right now, Andrew. Once we get past the open registration time, we'll start focusing on financial aid for the students who may be coming in during the fall, to really make sure we give that full service to that student as well. And then our focus will go from financial aid to what we call the SOAR sessions, SOAR. That's the orientation and academic registration. So we get those students register for their classes as well.
It's a busy time, and you visit high schools throughout the Commonwealth, throughout the region, I guess, into some other states as well. Let's talk about that area. How many schools does your office visit in a particular calendar year?
Well, Andrew, we have, including myself, we have 5 people on the admissions team that go out and represent the university. We each have assigned 13 schools individually, so that's 65 schools. A lot of people say that's not too bad, it's not a lot of schools. Well, that's our assigned schools, and then we have a secondary market from there too. So we will spread the word to anybody who wants to listen about the University of Pikeville. We do visit bordering states, Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee, and we even expand down into the Florida, California, is more for athletic recruiting. Also, we get a lot of interest from students down that way about our medical school as well.
Sure. It's a big area, and of course, the majority of those school visits, I would imagine, take place in the Commonwealth.
Yes.
Have you heard reaction yet to the recent announcement, the discussions going on, UPike, private versus public?
Well, the reaction I get, Andrew, is, are you going to be public or are you going to be private?
Sure, that's the question.
That's the question, and the response is, once the study comes back, I believe it's due back by March the 15th, and then legislators vote on it, and we'll get a final answer. I'm excited about it either way, whether it be public or private. We're going to continue on business the same way day in, day out.
It certainly could make a difference to some students, to some parents, with the cost of tuition, and I think we all understand that. But I'm like you. There's been so much excitement on the University of Pikeville campus the last couple of years as a private institution that I'm not sure that even that type of an announcement could really change the level of excitement, because it's already been there.
Well, the thing is, Andrew, is the state had approached, they entertained the ideal of approaching Governor Patton and the Board of Trustees at the University of Pikeville about coming on board. It's not a fact that, hey, we're desperately needing you guys to take over.
Right.
So we're in a good position, again, public or private, University of Pikeville. A great time to be a bear.
Yeah, it is. And the University of Pikeville, of course, it's been a great secret. We've tried to keep here in the mountains, and that secret, the excitement level at the university, it's escaped. It's gotten past the Winchester Wall. Now they've heard about it in Frankfort. And the legislators, they want to get on board. They want to be part of the excitement. That's what it's all about.
That's exactly right. You know, they see Kelly Wells, you know, brings home the national championship last year, national coach of the year. Just the word out today, Ron Dameron's women's bowling team is the #1 ranked team in the country now. They see all this, the athletic success. They see our academics really improving at the University of Pikeville. They see our medical school ranked 4th in the country in rural medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, jump on board.
And building projects going on. There are a lot of areas of the country that there's no construction at all. There are buildings sitting empty. And here we are in our little spot in eastern Kentucky, and there's progress all around, including on the University of Pikeville campus. It is truly the place to be. Gary, if someone is trying to decide what they want to do second semester, maybe they've been somewhere else the first semester, they've gotten through Christmas break, classes don't start at their former college or university, or they want to make a change now. Mm-hmm. What should they do? Well,
a couple of things, Andrew. They'll need, I always advise everybody to come visit campus to make sure that's what that fit is. You know, as much as that me and the admissions team, we sell the University of Pikeville, we want to sell education, whether it be with the University of Pikeville or another school. We would love to have them, but we want what is the right fit for them, because we want to make this region a better place. So we encourage the students to come on campus, take a campus tour, let them meet with some professors. Maybe they're majors they're thinking about majoring in. If they're going to be a traditional student, we'll be staying on campus. We invite them. We got dorm rooms set up. They can stay on campus to see what the dorm life would be like, eat in the cafeteria, sort of test drive that car before you buy it.
Sure. Different academic programs at the university. How many majors are offered?
We have about 24 majors right now.
What are some of the most popular majors that you're seeing incoming freshmen choose?
We have the pre-professional programs, whether it be pre-med, pre-law. Got a lot of students who want to go into pharmacy, but also have business majors, especially with our MBA program, just
Sure.
kind of getting kicked off. And then nursing that's the major ones that we see right now.
Of course, the nursing program, it's long been a part of the history at Pikeville, and a very popular program, and what a need we have for nurses in our area and across the country. But also, I know the criminal justice program, fairly new at the University of Pikeville. It's been pretty popular.
It is fairly new. The popularity is growing too. Now a lot of more students that I go visit in high schools are asking if we have that particular major. So I don't know what the uptake is when start students coming out of high school, but we're starting to see a lot of students be really interested in that criminal justice major.
It's CSI.
See,
It's the popular television show.
They want CSI Pikeville now.
Everyone wants to be a CSI Pikeville. Gary Justice, Director of Admissions at the University of Pikeville, and we talk about some of the academic programs that are available, some of the popular majors, but if they have questions about those, they need to check that out. They can go to the website, they can come by the office. I want to talk about another program because you talked about the medical school, the School of Osteopathic Medicine, the Cole building going up, due for completion later this year. And there's an academic program that's tied to incoming freshmen and the medical school. Talk about that program. It's something I learned of recently, and it's extremely exciting.
It's a great program. It's called the Osteopathic Medical Scholars Program, and we affectionately call it the OMSP program at the University of Pikeville. For an incoming freshman who live in Kentucky, West Virginia, or Virginia, if they have a high enough scoring on the ACT, they are qualified for automatic admission or direct admission to the medical school. Now, what does that mean? We're not going to throw them right into medical school, right out of high school, but once they complete their undergraduate requirements, score the score they need to on the entrance exam, they're automatically admitted into medical school. Well, what does that really mean? Well, that means that they don't have to go through the competitive process of trying to choose their medical school. They know where they're going to go to medical school at the University of Pikeville, Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. Now, put some numbers behind that. We have, this past year, we had 75 spots, 2,800 applications for 75 spots.
That's
very competitive. So we choose 10 students per year, and they're automatically going to be one part of that 75, which Governor Patton announced a couple weeks ago. We got approval to expand that to 125 students per class.
With the opening of the Cole building, expanded facilities, being able to accommodate those. I know the class size at the osteopathic school able to grow as well. 10 spots for incoming freshmen.
Yes, sir.
Are those 10 spots filled this academic year?
They have until the end of January to get their applications in, and if they want more information about that, please sure to contact me or their guidance counselor, and then give them more information about that. But the deadline is January 31st to have all the information in.
All the answers are in your office.
Well, if we don't know them, we can find them out.
You know where to find them.
Yes, sir.
Of course, students thinking about transferring, it's that popular time to UPike. Again, if they have questions and they'd like to talk about transferring to the University of Pikeville, you or some of your staff available to answer their questions, maybe a phone number, an email address, some way that they can get in touch with your office.
Sure thing, Andrew. They can contact our office at 606-218-5251. That would be Della Abshire's phone number. She can get you in contact with our transfer counselor, which his name is Haley Combs. She can sit down, she can go over your transcript with you, see what classes we'll transfer in, what classes you'll need, and then we'll get you in contact with Gia Potter in the registrar's office, get you on the right track, get you enrolled, and just become a University of Pikeville graduate.
And of course, the folks at the University of Pikeville, they do everything they can to make the process simple. You don't have to do it all yourself and put the whole package together, but your people do that. And then we have to talk about, how do you pay for college? And I know you've got a great student financial services group at the university as well.
The paying for college, something I learned coming out of high school was, just don't count on the federal government or the state government to pay for your education.
Right.
Also, just don't count on the university. Explore outside scholarships as well. So I just covered a lot of information, so let me back up a little bit. The first step is to fill out the FAFSA, the FAFSA. It's a free application for federal student aid. And that sees if you qualifies for federal grant, which is called the Pell Grant, and also the state grants, which is the Kentucky Tuition Grant and the College Access Program. It's KTG and CAP for short. So you got the Pell, KTG, and the CAP. So that covers you as far as all the grants, the free money, the money you don't have to pay back. But also shows you your qualification if you qualify for any type of student loans. And then also contact the university and see if they can kind of academic scholarships. Are you an athlete? You want to play on the athletic teams? Or if you want to play in the band or on academic teams, just explore all options as far as university. But there are also, Andrew, there are a lot of outside scholarships that people do not take advantage of. Maybe if they fill out an essay, fill an application out, do some community service. Get with your guidance counselors and find out what kind of outside scholarships are available for you. And
that should be the first step. In high school, the guidance counselors are there. They have a tremendous amount of information about colleges and universities and post-high school, post-secondary education. They have a lot of information, but they are a one-stop source for those outside scholarships as well, or maybe scholarships that are offered just through that particular high school, alumni scholarships that are offered to graduates of that high school, maybe community partners with that high school that offer scholarships just to students who graduate from that high school as well. It's a great place to start, and then there are other scholarships out there that hundreds of thousands of scholarships available through outside sources that I happen to encounter with my two so far that have made the college trek. There are other scholarships out there, and they're available. Like you said, write an essay. They do that anyway.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just the field that they're going into.
But also, Andrew, the things I hear from the students was no one ever told me.
Right.
Well, the thing is, the guidance counselor have a lot on their plate. And it's hard for them to narrow down 200 students and exactly what has each student done.
Yeah.
Be proactive. Go talk to your guidance counselor. Get on the internet. Do some research. Go to any kind of college, university you're thinking about going to. University of Pikeville, we would love to come give you some advice on some outside scholarships as well.
Of course, the University of Pikeville, happening place. Construction continues. You mentioned dorm space earlier, and I know there have been some folks in the community who said, all this enrollment at the University of Pikeville, where are these kids staying? Because we know that the dorms have to fill up at some point. Is there space in the residential halls at the University of Pikeville?
Governor Patton and James Hurley has secured more dorm space for us. We're turning every nook and cranny, finding a place where we can build dorms or convert spaces into dormitories. When we say convert into dormitories, livable space.
Sure.
I mean, this is something we don't want to just put people anywhere, and that's
right.
We don't want to get that out in the public. But with Governor Patton has secured 150 more beds for us.
Wow.
And we've converted 2 buildings into dormitories, and these are going to be very, very nice dormitories. When Governor Patton does something, he does it the right way. So to answer your question, yes, we're going to have enough dorm space to provide housing for all of these students coming in.
Record enrollment in fall 2011. Mm-hmm. As the director of admissions at the University of Pikeville, do you go on cruise control now, or are you still actively recruiting to break that record in the fall 2012?
Well, to answer your question quickly, I do not want to break the record because I want to keep all the students that we have.
Sure.
Hopefully that just flattens out. Cruise control, no. You know, once you put it on cruise control, that's when you're going to get beat. Because there are a lot of other colleges, universities coming in, looking at what we're doing and wanting our students as well. But we want to keep our students at home, and we want to keep them all at the University of Pikeville as many as we can.
Gary, we talked about a program tied to incoming freshmen through the osteopathic school. We talked about the business majors and now the MBA program. Any plans for a tie to incoming freshmen who might be business-minded and the MBA program?
I don't know if there'll be any tie. I know that's a new program, the MBA. I just have to give it a couple more years to see how it takes off. I know Dr. David Smith does an excellent job with the program, and he's always looking for ways to attract more students to the program,
Sure.
but also getting those qualified students for the program also.
How many students in that program now?
27 students in the first cohort.
And, yeah, it just started in the fall.
Yes, sir. And then we'll have another one starting in August, the second cohort.
Wow. So continuing to grow with the MBA program, nursing program, it's always full.
Yeah, a lot of people who want to get into that nursing program. We talk to a lot of high school seniors. Yeah, I want to come and get into your nursing program. Well, it's a competitive position. It's 36 positions per year. And just because you want to come in and get into the program, make sure you get your studies, make sure you do your community service, make sure you get a lot of experience as well, because that is a very, very competitive program, especially now with the BSN option.
Hundreds of applications for that program as well. You talk about the BSN program. Mm-hmm. That's a 4-year nursing program, and that began when?
That just began this spring. Will be the first class that we'll have for the BSN program. So these students will be coming in. I'm sorry, I take it back. They're starting their second semester this past fall. We had 6 young ladies who are going to acquire their BSN, and they'll be getting more students this spring as well.
And it's a big deal.
It is a big deal. What's the difference between a registered nurse and a Bachelor of Science in Nursing is it's a pay grade for the individual, but also just the training, the additional training that the nurse would receive, and also provide more care for you and I in this region.
And it opens opportunities for those nurses in fields beyond that you could imagine with an RN. Yes. And of course, a lot of RNs, they continue their education past their graduation from the RN program, mm-hmm. and they'll do that online, they'll do that through other sources, but that's been made available now. They can do this all now in a 4-year program at the University of Pikeville and come out with a BSN. They're a step ahead when they enter the work world.
Also, now you're seeing a lot more nurse practitioners.
Yes.
And that's the next step. So if an RN wants to be, the ultimate goal is to become a nurse practitioner, well, then they have to get their BSN. So now we've got that option here at home for those young ladies.
Gary Justice, Director of Admissions at the University of Pikeville. Exciting time. And I know it's always exciting around your office with your staff. Again, if someone's been tuned and they have questions, they want to talk about admissions, they have questions about the University of Pikeville, give us the number again.
Sure thing. It is 606-218-5251.
Exciting things happening on the Hill, and I know you're in touch with a lot of those. Mm-hmm. Some other things that we talk about. A lot of folks have seen the Kelly Wells U-Pike truck driving around town.
Good-looking vehicle.
It's a good-looking vehicle, and I noticed it's not the Gary Justice Director of Admissions truck. Kelly Wells, head basketball coach, national coach of the year, mm-hmm. brought a lot of attention to the university with his win. He gets his signature truck, and they're not going to give that away at open registration either.
No.
But at the Expo.
January 26th, that's going to be Appalachian Wireless Night at the Expo Center. Giving away a nice Ford F-150, and also a lot of other prizes. I heard this morning on the radio that a lot of things through Appalachian Wireless as far as phone services, TVs. It's going to be an exciting night, and also a good ball game with the University of Cumberland.
It always is an exciting night anytime Appalachian Wireless is involved. We talked about public-private. We talk about Appalachian Wireless, mm-hmm. the truck giveaway with a partnership between U-Pike, Bruce Walters Ford, East Kentucky Broadcasting, and company. We talk about the public-private. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about a new transfer agreement that's just come to light recently, and that's with the Kentucky College and Technical or Community and Technical System.
That is an exciting agreement for us. So what does that mean? So any student who is attending the KCTCS system, upon a completion of their associate degree, all their hours will transfer to the University of Pikeville. So it makes that transition seamless. So there's really no reason why they can't finish that 4-year degree. I know sometimes students will go to community college, well, all my hours didn't transfer. There's no use in me finishing my degree. Well, right. now we've taken care of that. Your hours are going to transfer. We want you to get that 4-year degree. And also, they can actually be dually enrolled at any KCTCS system in school, and also University of Pikeville for 9 hours. So they can get the advising, they get all the benefits of being a University of Pikeville student.
And that's any KCTCS school in the Commonwealth.
In the Commonwealth, yeah. This is not just Big Sandy.
Not just Big Sandy, not just a local school.
Commonwealth of Kentucky.
How about that?
And it is a great program.
I know Governor Paul Patton, president of the University of Pikeville, was excited about that announcement and how it made the process so much easier for a transfer student, because you see those students now, mm-hmm. students that They take care of the first couple of years through that system, and then they transfer to the University of Pikeville. And many times they may lose some credit hours.
Exactly.
What that does is that's not going to happen now. If they have, 48 credit hours, 60 credit hours through KCTCS, those credit hours would all come to the University of Pikeville.
Yes, sir. They'll come to University of Pikeville. And what I like about it also is the agreement, the part of the agreement where they can actually take classes, be dually enrolled at both places. So if they be at the Big Sandy campus here in Pikeville, but they want to start taking some classes at University of Pikeville, sort of get the feel,
Sure.
or maybe a class they can't take at Big Sandy, they go and start doing that. So really, you start thinking, Governor Patton is known as the educational governor. What more do you need to know besides this endeavor he's going through right now?
Very forward thinking indeed, and an exciting agreement. The public-private, the KCTCS, Appalachian Wireless, U-Pike, Bruce Walters Ford, East Kentucky Broadcasting, giving away trucks. The bowling team's ranked number one in the country. Record enrollment last fall. Where does the excitement end?
You know what? I hope it never does, Andrew, because we're truly changing this world one graduate at a time, and this will continue. And I know you always say, open up the program, what are the 99 steps to lead, and also they talk about the community it leads back to.
Sure.
You think about all the corporate sponsors that you just talked about to help to get the people in the Expo Center to watch the ball team, but also help the people in the region, help people at the University of Pikeville, but also just getting that word out there about the University of Pikeville. And it's not one person benefits from this; the whole region benefits from this, and it's very exciting times.
It's an exciting time, and as you always say, there's never been a better time to be a U-Pike Bear.
Yes, go Bears, Andrew.
Go Bears. Gary Justice, Director of Admissions at the University of Pikeville. Again, that phone number one more time. Someone they've missed some information, they need some questions answered, they need to talk about admissions, whether it be in the fall, whether it be immediately. That number, and a chance for you to maybe mention your staff as well as we close out this edition.
Sure thing. The phone number, Andrew, is 606-218-5251. They can also visit www.upike.edu for any kind of information you need. You're exactly right as far as the admissions staff. Got Della Abshire, Jamie Bannerman, you have Haley Combs, Amber Collins, Gary Smith, Lindsey Gibson, you have Matthew Crisp, Judy Bradley, Ambria Ray, Mandy Stacy, Joanne Cantrell, Barbara Moore. I mean, we have, if you want to come up and see us, Governor Paul Patton will sit down and talk to you, and also James Hurley Wills also.
They absolutely will. Gary Justice, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Andrew. Go Bears.
Director of Admissions at the University of Pikeville, Gary Justice, has been our guest on this edition of Where the 99 Lead.